Meantime, we're watching Nvidia. That is down nearly 15% this month, but it's still the best performing chip stock this year. And it's just been named a top 2022 pick over at UBS. The firm noting its stable revenue sources. It is our call of the day. Josh and Jason, you both own it. So, Jason, I'll start off with you. What do you like about this? And you want to own the winners? I mean, you take a look at a Micron, which has been an underperformer, posted good earnings, good margins, and they're jumping today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nvidia is just been a tremendous name. We've owned it since 2013. Obviously, it's up over 100% year to date, down slightly, 15% month to date, as you mentioned. But, just the interstate and where they sit, AI, data center, deep learning, I just think there's so many catalysts for this name going forward. I mean, just where they reside, from a semi perspective. I also, I don't think this arms deal will likely go down due to some kind of, obviously what's going on from an antitrust perspective. But, I think Nvidia, that's a great call. I think it will continue to run. At some point, valuation will matter, but this is one that's just, I think it's worth the price of admission. So Nvidia, I think it's just a great call here.
Josh, you think that when rising rates are approaching, that's when valuation would matter. But, I was listening to a semiconductor analyst yesterday, and they said something very interesting. I hadn't thought about it in quite this way, but chip stocks are the arms dealers for everything that's hot in the future, whether it be, as Jason mentioned, AI, metaverse, Web 3.0, all those things. You say those on an earnings call, Josh, and you're in pretty good shape.
Right, so that's the push and pull between how great the fundamentals are versus how expensive the stock is. And actually, the stock is more expensive now than it was even 3 years ago. On a PE basis, it's about 84 times trailing 12 months earnings. Compare that to the S&P at 28. Compare that to the semi sector, which is closer to 50. Compare that to the average Nvidia multiple over the last few years, which is closer to 50. There's no way to say, oh, this is a cheap stock, great opportunity. However, being an expensive stock has not held this back from being 108% return this year, because it was expensive going into 2021. So that really has not been the best way to think about what the stock may do. I would just say this: GPU chips are going to be on fire all year. Video gaming, PC gaming, consoles. The demand so far outstrips anything that any company can supply that it's going to be all systems go, almost no matter what happens in the broader economy. And then you think about data center. More importantly, hyperscale data center, which is the next level where everyone's going. You cannot do this with linear processors. You need GPUs to power these hyperscale data centers. Nvidia is almost the only show in town, and that business is growing at a CAGR that you really can't find anywhere else in technology. So you take those things, and then you think about things that are a little bit further off into the future, but potentially extremely meaningful. Everything from robotics to AI, virtual reality, the Omniverse, all of that stuff. And you think about autonomous driving. You just say to yourself, okay, in any given year or quarter, there might be one component of Nvidia's business that's not great. What are the odds that most of them aren't great? Very low. That's why people are paying up for the stock. I understand why some people would not want to pay up for the stock. I get it. Different people have different disciplines. But I would just point out, valuation, if you were to look at 10 different factors on Nvidia over the last 10 years, has probably been in last place in terms of its ability to predict what this name would do.
Citi is out with a bullish note also on semiconductors today, saying that they expect the positive fundamentals that the group has seen to continue into 2022. The one thing that gets them, Weiss, potentially is an inventory correction. If people were loading up on chips in advance, they could be overloaded. They could be a little bit bloated, and there could be that inventory correction. You love semis, though. You just bought one, Weiss. Which one?
I did. I bought On Semiconductor, and the reason why I bought it is because they're in every space I want to be in. They own the auto market. The stock, when they reported last quarter, hit a new high, and I was waiting for it to pull back. It hadn't pulled back much, and I bought some. So it's now a full position for me. Look, they're in 5G telecom. As I mentioned, they're in autos. They are in robotics. I'm a big believer in the industrialization changing to go more robotic because of labor shortages. That's one of the reasons why I own GXO. Fully robotic cobots in their warehouses. So they are now, semis I'm talking about, are in a unique place because whereas they used to be thought of as cyclical, now they're not thought of as cyclical. They're thought of as pure growth industry. But these are my concerns. One being an inventory correction. We don't know what double ordering's out there, although frankly, a lot of those companies couldn't fill double orders because they couldn't fill the single orders. The other issue is, and this is more of companies like Skyworks or Qorvo, I think it'll be okay, is that if you ship into Apple, into an iPhone, and let's say for argument's sake there are 100 parts there, while Skyworks will meet their obligations and ship the production because they've owned their fabs, and the same true of ON, they will meet their production. I don't know that the others that ship into these same devices or cars will meet it. So that could cause, a disappointment in the quarter. But if you look past this quarter and next quarter, these are the place to be. There's perpetual growth here as far as the eye can see. So that's why I like these companies.
I have to ask you a question.
By the way, one more thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
What the heck is a cobot? Did you say that? They've got cobots in their warehouses?
Yes, I did.
Is it a robot?
Cobots work alongside. It is. It works alongside humans, basically.
Oh.
And it works alongside other robots, cobots. There you go.
That's news.
This is a big week of learning for you, Mel.
Huge.
First you learned about the arms race and semis, and now.
I know. So much to learn
here.
Yeah,
please come back.
Thank you, Investment Committee.